Welcome to my introductory video. I'm David. I had this grand idea of doing a really good introduction and then started to lose my voice, so I thought, nope, we'll keep it short. So let's start with the end of the year, and I'm going to present a year in photos. They're ones I've taken whilst out in and around where I live. So if we start, January is a local nature reserve, and you may think, well, what exactly is the subject? It's actually the attempt to tell a story, because we've got the farmhouse to the left, we've got mistletoe growing in the tree behind the pole at the front, and the farm gate with a tractor behind. Taken in very early January, beautiful day, typical winter sky blue, and of course the trees are pretty much bare. Shot I like. Is it one of my best ones? No, probably not. Is it a good photo? I think so. You may not. But then, what is a good photo? We move into February. This is slightly different. This is just looking out across Breen Sands. Breen is a holiday resort in the southwest, near to Weston-super-Mare, and the day was fairly grey, and I looked out and thought, actually this makes a great picture because there was enough sunlight being diffused from the clouds to make a good shot. I hope you like it. It's very minimal, and I suppose I could have whopped up the exposure and called it fine art. Nice, I think so. I hope you like it too. March. This is definitely very minimalist. These are bulrushes that have gone to seed. And if you don't know, they go very fluffy like dandelions. And this is a local lake, it's Bitterwell Lake. And they leave a lot of the reeds and rushes growing to give the carp in the lake somewhere to hide. So it's a picture I liked the moment I saw it and took it. I hope you enjoy it too, because it's virtually featureless. April is a sunrise, and one of my dogs decided that it was a very good idea to wake me up early in the morning to go out to do her business. Spent about 5 minutes or so walking around checking all the the boundaries. So by the time she'd finished her business, I was wide awake, checked what the time for sunrise was, knew I had time for a good cup of coffee, nipped down to a local sports ground and caught a sunrise that wasn't the finest I've got. You'll see that one later, but one that I just thought captured very early spring. And the trees were just starting to wake up in this. May is actually not local to me. This is in Radnorshire in mid Wales. We were on a camping holiday for a few days. It's a beautiful location, and the sky was absolutely stunning. So I captured a few shots, but this one I think was probably the best that I'd taken. Interesting wavelets in the clouds. I'm sure they've got a name, but I don't know what it is. The woodland surrounding the campsite, which is on a working farm, of course, in May was going into full gear for summer. So the picture in itself is really a nice one. I hope you like it, because it's certainly one of the favourites I took on that break. We'd also visited Elan Water and taken photos of the dams there that the other photographers don't seem to, because they tend to go at one end, so I went to the opposite end. I'll maybe show that later. Into June, I'm back to Bitterwell Lake again, and there was only 2 families of ducks had raised ducklings this year, and they were staying well out of the way when they were tiny, and I was fortunate at being at the lake when one of the duck families had came out, and a duckling came close enough for me to capture it. So a nice portrait of a pretty young duckling. This one I really did like, so I hope you do too. Into July, and July was a funny month for me photographically, as I'd been playing with 2 bodies, and the shots that I'd taken through most of the month was on the new camera, and some idiot didn't actually back up all the files they'd taken. So this is just a poppy in my garden, which I liked actually. It was a beautiful early in the morning, not very early in the morning, but early morning light, and just captured the red and the green beautifully together. August, you'll probably look at this and say, it's an apple tree. We're another one of the local nature reserves, has a small orchard with varieties of apple that are no longer being grown commercially or on farms. So they make small but very tasty apples, and the colours of the apples and the sky just made it for me. And this picture is one of the, again, the best I've taken of this small orchard. The apples taste great, by the way. I did get them when they were ripe. September, another doggy day, when the girls had decided again it was time to be up early. The same local sports ground as before, but rather than the beautiful blue skies of early spring, we've got an amazing painted sky, plenty of clouds, and the sun rising in a slightly different spot, so the trees are different. It's a photo I like. It's not actually edited, I say this carefully, but I normally photograph with my colour temperature set manually, and this was taken at 5200K, so it's warmer slightly than the sky was, but it does capture the beauty. So no, not really edited, but not 100% true, but close to it. Moving to October, again, it's fungus season, and the park attached to Bitterwell Lake every year grows a few shaggy ink caps. It's normally get kicked down by people going through. And I was out sufficiently early to capture two of them, mostly intact. They're a mushroom I really like. They make great eating, provided you get them when they're young before they start to drip ink, because then they can make you quite sick. Again, a picture I like. I've taken loads of pictures during autumn, but this one has just got the capture of, yes, I like this. November. This is Bitterwell Lake again, and a visitor to the lake. This is an Egyptian goose who really didn't care the fact that I was standing there with a camera with a big lens on and walking basically around him in circles, trying to get him, her, whichever, trying to get light and detail. So this one pleased me. And again, the visitor was only there for a day and was alone, because normally, talking to one of the people who know about birds, you see them travelling in pairs, mated pair. So either this was a youngster who didn't have a partner, or something had happened to their partner. Hope you like it. I do. And December, we come into an amazing, another skyscape, I'm afraid. Again, with the same caveat that it was a fixed colour temperature, but this is the same part once again. Pre-sunrise, the sun hadn't actually risen at the time. And again, I was down there because I'd been woken up by a dog. And the nice thing about winter, of course, is that the sun rises a lot lighter, so I'd had time to sit down with coffee, go drive down to the sports ground, set up, walk the old dog around so that she did her business. She sat in the car in the warm, and I stood out there watching this sunrise develop, and I probably took 60 photos over the course of 40 minutes, and choosing which one I considered the best to show off was quite difficult. But this one, I think, just the texture of the clouds, the colour of the sky, it is accurately exposed for the conditions at the time. So it's a nice picture. Incidentally, I stuck it in Lightroom and said adaptive colour, to edit it, and it made it as if it was, full sunlight, with the grass being very green, the sky washed out, and the clouds just grey. I thought, with a hint of red, AI doesn't always get it right, does it? So that's my year in photos. I do hope to produce something a bit more informative for my next video. I do apologise that I've got virtually no voice, and I hope that this has been just a vision of somebody who is a happy amateur photographer for quite a long time, taking photos that they like, because I see far too much on YouTube from various classes of photographer who suggest, your photos aren't good enough, or what's a good photo. And the only thing I consider to be a good photo is something that you look at and you go, I like that. Most of the shots you've seen me show today, I also printed out from my photo wall, which is in front of me there, which you can't see. And apologies, I've not done much apart from just talk at the camera whilst gazing forlornly at the screen. Next time, hopefully it'll be a bit more animated. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye for now.